In the UK, Christmas means a roast turkey with all them trimmings. In France, you get a nice réveillon on Christmas Eve. In South Africa, it's all about that barbecue, or braai as they like to call it. But in Japan, Christmas is all about KFC. And in this one, I want to tell you how that came about.
Tosan, no Christmasが近づいています。
はい、息子。
今年は KFC を開催しますか？
はい、私の息子。去年のように失敗しないはご愛心配しないで今年は KFC の開催します。Christmas isn't really big in Japan, but because of a ridiculously successful ad campaign by KFC in the 1970s, KFC became a household name during Christmas. You know how big KFC is in Japan during Christmas time? I'll tell you just how. You have to place reservations and all your specially packaged delivery options months in advance. And it's actually said that KFC Japan's busiest day of the year is Christmas Eve, and they're said to receive around 10 times more customers than usual. To truly understand why that fried goodness is synonymous with Christmas in Japan, we have to rewind a few decades. So following a period of austerity in Japan following World War II in the 1940s and 50s, Japan's economy started to take off. Because of Japan's increased economical power, the Japanese people suddenly had all this cash that they can put towards the consumer culture. And because the US was a cultural powerhouse at the time, a lot of the components of the US started to seep into the Japanese culture for the very first time. Many foreign franchises started to appear in Japan, like Baskin-Robbins, Mr. Donut, which is now Dunkin' Donuts, and the original Pancake House in 1970. And during this period of rapid globalization, Japan's fast food industry expanded by about 600% between 1970 and 1980. And amongst these foreign franchises was the one and only Kentucky Fried Chicken, which opened up its first shop in Nagoya in 1970. By 1981, KFC had opened 324 stores in Japan and was roughly making approximately $200 million a year. You see, in the 1970s, people didn't have established family traditions for Christmas. Christmas was and still is a secular holiday in Japan, and only about 1% of the Japanese people classify themselves as Christians. And that is exactly where KFC came in. KFC launched its Kentucky for Christmas ad campaign in 1974 thanks to the first manager of the first KFC opened in Japan, Takeshi Okawara. The campaign found incredible success, and just like the Harvard-educated Okawara, who ended up climbing the company's ranks and ended up becoming the CEO in 1984 up until 2002. Kuso! 直前になって一問ご処理されませんでした。
父さん、KFC をだと楽しみにしています。学校でクリスマスに KFC を食べなかった。は私だけではありません。私はとても興奮しています。
私もワクワクします。And of course, this Kentucky for Christmas had a substantial advertising investment. And these ads in the 70s and 80s showed a joyous family enjoying this luxurious golden fried chicken. And you paired that with the song that has been playing with these ads for the past 20 years, My Old Kentucky Home. Such ads positioned KFC as an elegant and authentic way to experience American tradition. even if it wasn't quite true. And then there's the coincidence of Colonel Sanders actually looking like Santa Claus, or should I say Colonel Santa. And according to KFC Japan, they pulled in approximately 6.9 billion yen or $63 million in December 2018 from the 20th to the 25th, with lines starting on the 23rd. Demand is so high that KFC Japan started an online service so that one can order their KFC in advance and have it delivered right to their doorsteps.
KFC へようこそ。待ち時間は4時間です。
多分これは私。
6.5 hours later.
申し訳ありませんが、売り切れです。でも、ちょっと待って。しかし、ここのストアにはまだ在庫。はい。
どうもありがとうございます。But to say KFC's success was solely due to the advertising campaign wouldn't be totally true. You see, KFC also has a compatibility with existing cultural norms in the country. For example, KFC is very similar to a traditional Japanese dish called karage, which has small pieces of panko breaded, deep-fried meats like fish or chicken, which means that the Japanese people don't have to get accustomed to a whole new taste palette.
KFC へようこそ。こんにちは。待ち時間は6時間です。
6.5 hours later.
どうぞ。ありがとね。あなたは小さな男の子。ありがとう。
Likewise, tucking into these KFC party barrels fits very nicely into Japanese culture. You see, eating together is a very important social practice in Japan. So this chicken doesn't just have this familiarity about it, it also fulfills the desire to eat together. Then there's the aspect of void fillment. The Japanese people never had any traditions around Christmas up until KFC were like, look guys, this is how you should be spending your Christmas time. And these Christmas time ads from KFC always show happy Japanese families surrounded by this fried chicken. And how could you not want to get KFC after seeing these ads? This is just another example of globalization, where you take consumer rituals, send them to other countries, and they often get translated in different ways. Just like how it's not abnormal these days to find an IKEA everywhere in the world. And this KFC for Christmas literally just takes our consumerism and morphs it into a holiday.
Modotto kimashita. Watashi wa KFCを持ってます。父さん、ありがとうございます。ありがとう、愛しの肝よ。
どういたしました。Question, tradition. Perception is existence. All between two ears.